So I'm really gaining an appreciation for what the founding fathers may have gone through. When they knew what they were up against, or at least they thought, respectfully, what they were up against, and knew that it just simply did not work for them. Because somehow they knew what was their idea of a better life. Essentially being pushed into that position and saying, wow, what do we do? What are our options? There's only one potential easy option. And that's to hold firm to what we believe in. And to just take the waves of resistance that were coming after them. And fight it in the most, what I presume would have been the most benign way that was available to them at the time. I mean, just whatever. Because I now find myself in a very interesting position. Where my rights have as far as I can tell, been taken away from me. And there are a limited number of ways to fight it, as far as I can tell. I'm being accused of a pretty harsh mental status. And the astounding thing to me is that the people that set me up for this my mother, my father. As far as I can tell, remain essentially unchecked. Because I don't think that much of this would have begun given a different status with them. And what's incredible is I've been telling people my entire life that I do not want tension with them, and yet they keep it going, and I'm not going to pull my punch on that because I know my pure, as much as can be so, intent with them. And as far as I can tell, my options seem to be limited in how to approach this thing because I don't want to be a fighter, I want to be a lover. In the nicest and most respectable sense. In that way, seems to be something that I am somewhat fortunate to know. And that is that in this greatest country in the world, as far as everything I've seen, regardless of the issues. You'll know them by their fruits. And America has what I have witnessed to be the greatest fruits. And I'm in a position where in America, as far as I know, you're supposed to be guaranteed the right to a trial by jury. Practically. And apparently I've been pushed into a situation where there are some kind of, I'm going to very loosely say, rules. Because whether it's a law or a statute or stuff or whatever is for a different conversation. Apparently there are rules. Yeah. that under certain circumstances, my rights can be completely taken away. Completely may be a bit of an absolute word here, but for now, that's how I'm saying it. In order to move forward with this, because there are things with that. I believe that there is more severe versions of this that gets a lot closer to complete removal, something along those lines, of your constitutional rights. And at that point, there's only one thing to fall back on, as far as I know, anyway, and that's the law of God. It comes from the Word of God. And of course, there's a lot of interpretation that could be had from there, so to stay on topic for now. It seems that one of the only straightforward approaches is that thing I was talking about. Essentially, practically, where this thing that I'm possibly fortunate to know is that you can actually challenge legislation and I suppose that might be what certain individuals do quite often, or maybe even all the time, but it's not the area of life that I come from. In fact, the area of life that I come from, for the most part, does not lead to where I have gone with my passions for the stock market and for singing, performing. Performing songs and stuff. Whatever. I was asked my thoughts on my feelings, my thoughts, whatever stuff on what other options I felt like I might have, other than the ones that I'm taking that seem to be unpopular. And to that, I responded, nicely, respectfully. I said, in the Word of God, it says that if we do not have God, Jesus, what else do we have? I think it was somewhat in reference to the fact that I am completely turning to God for what I'm going through. And that seems to be an idea that's being challenged from all sorts of angles. But no matter what thing I go through here, it always comes back down to, well, if I don't follow this path, then what other path am I going to take? There really only is one way to go. And I'm not going to challenge the Word of God in that instance. There are certain things in the Bible that are difficult to digest, essentially, such as why are there red robes and why are there purple robes? And that's a whole other conversation. And there are a number of things like that. So ultimately, it all comes down to the verse. Possibly one of the most important ones. One of the most important ones. Aside from, the verses about, Jesus and stuff. Those are really the most important ones. But aside from that, I think one of the most profound ones is that without faith, it is impossible to please God. So I would like to believe that that flag still waves for me. I would like to believe that America, America is still the most incredible country in the world. And I would like to believe that America is a place that I can remain happy to call my home. My name is Andrew Neil Shound, Mr. Screen name Master Andrew IVIASTER space ANDRUU. Also IVIASTER space ANDREW.